Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for popping on today. I always do this late, so let me send this out. FB. Alright. Okay, so let's see if I can find myself. Hopefully everybody else finds me and gets me shared where I need to be. I am in a new event group today. I've never been in this event group before. Hello, Nicholas. Thank you for having me. It is Adventures in Crafting. So please go check them out, like them, and all the good stuff. Hello there, Sugar Snobs Designs. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Like I said, this is my first time in this event. They are celebrating 600 followers in the event, which is, in the event group, which is super awesome. It takes a lot of work to get the following up there and to get the crafters together. So, kudos to the admin team for that. So I'm super excited that I got asked to be here. And today, because of the celebration, they are doing decade themed. So my decade is when graffiti was a very big thing. So that is what I'm going to focus on. Neon colors. All the things that are like completely opposite of what I normally do, but we're gonna make it happen. So I'm excited. Hello there, Miss Elizabeth. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello there, Be the Light Creations. Hello, thank you so much for being here. Glitz and Glam, welcome, welcome, my friends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and turn the camera down so you guys can see what is on my desk. And let's get to crafting. I have 1 hour. Before me was Miss Lisa from Lisa's Craft House. And coming up is going to be... Wait a second, because this light is in the way. Coming up after me is Miss Cathy from CC Redesign. So make sure that you stick around and watch all of them. Everybody will be shared into the group. So if you're there, it makes it a whole lot easier to find everybody. Hello there, Stephanie. Hi, my sweet Connie. Thank you for being here, my friend. So I like to do double-sided projects. So I have this project right here. It's a very simple project that I did last year. And so we are going to decorate the backside. And seeing as we're going to be using bright colors, the hanger is going to go and all of the good stuff. So that is what we're going to do. Let me put this over here. And so I have, now I am obviously not a graffiti artist, so I found these images online. This is the word angel, and then we have a warrior. So I'm planning on probably using one, maybe both. We'll see. I do have my stickles and puffy paint and as neon colors as I could find that I owned. I do have neon pink because I think it was like 2 years ago I had to do a glow-in-the-dark pumpkin and for breast cancer awareness. So I did, I have the pink from that. And then I found they have these really bright colored flowers. So we'll be using some of those in today's art as well. So let's get started. You remember the beautiful butterflies? Oh, I am so glad. Yes, Miss Carney, you always come and support, and I'm so grateful for you. Yes, hello, Miss Melanie from Be Light Creations. So we're going to put the neon pink down first, and I'm going to give this a full coverage spread, which is, what I'm kind of hoping to go with here. So again, thank you to Nicholas and the admin team for inviting me. I'm glad that I was able to fill in. I know somebody was not able to be on, which is always sad, but whenever possible, I do like to try to bump in somewhere. And this is fun because, you know, I've never been in this group before, so super excited. And reaching 600 is very, very important. So I'm sure most of you, especially if you do follow me, you know what decade I was born in. And if not, like I said, think about it. When was graffiti big, or did it start to become very big and recognized? When were neon colors big, you know? And you guys can tell me. I will do that. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, Miss Wendy? So, yeah. Oh my gosh, this paint is strong. Woo! I don't, like I said, me and neon colors are not normally friends, but you know, when you get into events and there's a theme, you know, you kind of have to figure it out, and that's actually kind of cool because it is a challenge, and I like to be challenged. I like to have to push my boundaries when it comes to my crafts. It keeps it interesting. I am, Miss Connie. I am your 80s baby. Yes, ma'am. I am. That's funny. I was asking my husband, I was like, when you think of the 80s, what do you think of? And he's like, my teenage years. And I'm like, okay, well, let's not go there then. I'm like, let's not go there. So, because there is a slight age gap between us. So, you know, he does mess with me about that sometimes, about how, you know, I'm kind of a baby, and I'm like, I'm not a baby, but you know what, I'm not old either. So, and I will definitely have to say the 80s were super cool. I love the music. Of course, he started popping off music, and I was like, no, I'm trying to do a craft, not music. And he was like, oh. we're music kind of nerdy people, so we do like to listen to all kinds of music, and it tends to really surprise people how broad my music goes. And I'm like, well, y'all gotta remember, I was raised in a different country, and two, you know, I grew up listening to all the music my dad liked. And it was from his childhood, so, you know. You were a teenager too? Yeah, I was a wee little thing. I mean, I was born and then primary school, right? So, because I'm in the earlier 80s. My brother was late 80s, so he really don't remember much of the 80s. But, I mean, my mom wore her hair big, and I mean, even early 90s, when I remember, she still wore the curls and all the thing, and that was her style, and you know what you do, right? Hi there, Miss Julie. How are you doing, my sweet friend? I saw you earlier in the comments over at Miss Lisa when she was on. So guys, before me, if you guys missed it, was Miss Lisa from Lisa's Craft House. So if you do get a chance, go back and watch her decade and her creation. She was kind of in the background because I was prepping and making sure I had everything I needed and walking through and trying to find stuff, because you know that always happens. But I did see that she had, it looked like it was either Bonnet Sue, I think it was Bonnet Sue. So you were slightly in the 30s. It's pretty cool, Miss Connie. That means that you have experienced a lot. You know, that was one of the things that I loved about being able to sit down with my grandparents, was to ask them about all the things they had gone through and seen. So, I'm a big history buff and kind of nerdy in that sense. And so, being able to talk with somebody who's lived what you were studying in school, it was just the coolest thing. So yeah, I am well, thank you. I am well. I'm feeling a little better. I'm grateful because it's getting warm today. Today's nice and warm. There's a bit of a cool breeze, but it's warm. So that's definitely helping me to feel better. But we're supposed to be getting some weird low pressure crud this weekend, so I'm not looking forward to that. Because this past one just knocked me out. So, yeah, definitely was not excited about that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just starting to level off and starting to feel better, and it's gonna something else has got to come down our way, of course. So, oh well. Like I said, I'm definitely not a graffiti artist, but I did want to incorporate that because when you do like study about like art, and so you had neo-impressionism was big, and then you know, so you get a lot of like your abstracts and stuff. So originally I'm from Costa Rica. Originally, I'm from Costa Rica, Miss Melanie, and then I'm sorry, Miss Melissa, right? No, Melanie. I had that right, Miss Melanie. Yeah. Originally, I'm from Costa Rica. So was raised in a third world country, very different. But at the same time, me and my husband have a lot of things in common about things that we were exposed to or how we were raised, because even though there's that age gap difference, the culture and things were very similar in that sense. Because, you know, as being in a third world country, things are behind. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is, you know. And in many ways, honestly, I'm grateful for it. My dad actually left the U.S. so that we would not be raised in the chaotic 80s of the U.S. I was born in Florida, and he was like, nope, this is not what I want to raise my kids in. And so he moved us to Costa Rica when me and my brother were very, very young. And so that is all we know. So that is our heritage. That is what we remember. And I've been in the U.S. now I moved back at the age of 22 with 2 kids. 2 kids and with my first husband, their dad. So, and I currently live in Georgia. When we came here, we came to Savannah, and then a few years afterwards, after me and my first husband separated, I was like, I need something different, and so I moved closer to Atlanta, and this is where I am. Hello there, Ruben. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate everybody who's popping in, all the new names. It is so nice to meet everybody. So, my name is Tamara, but everybody calls me T. It started with my students. It was just easier for them to say Miss T. So, I get called Mrs. T. And it just kind of stuck with my friends and everything. A lot of it is because they were like, well, we can't roll the R, and you know, or they'll say Tamara or Tamara, and I'm like, that's my name, but you know, So that's why I go by T. And I'm fine with it. I'm totally good with it. I mean, what do they say? You can call me whatever you want. I know you're talking to me. Just never call me late for dinner. So yeah, super excited to be here. Again, guys, we are in the Adventures in Crafting group. So make sure that you guys are following them. They are celebrating 600 followers in the group, which I think is amazing, because that is, you know, it's hard. It's hard to do that, y'all. Y'all don't understand. It's hard to get there. So I don't know if I want the... I don't know. Well, we'll decide on that one. So I am planning on using one of my Tim Holtz ladies, and I think I'm gonna cut her out and use her. And where did my wings go to? And I'm gonna use, if I can find them, this is what happens when you reorganize stuff. Where'd they go? I know I literally just saw them. I had them pulled out the other day. I go to put the stuff away, and now I can never find things. I don't even know why I have things organized if I can't find what I need. Oh, I can't find them. So trying to find some brighter wings, but the idea is to give her wings. Does that make sense? Yes, I do too. I think they're super cool. They're really fun to work with, that's for sure. They are definitely very, very fun to work with. So this is from the groups. So I'm just going to cut her out. The one girl that we are going to utilize, and we're going to make her into our angel. Because she is going to be our angel. Look, I tried, but there's only so much neon that I can do. So I gotta do something. Ah. Yes, exactly. Don't call me late for dinner. You can call me anything else, just don't call me late for dinner. Especially when my husband's cooking certain meals. Yeah. We have learned very quickly that there's some things that he is really good at, and there's some things that I'll do. For the most part, yeah, he tends to do the cooking. I mean, the cooking. Yeah, certain things he does the cooking. Oh, look, I found these really bright ones. Let's see. I have my whole box of butterfly themed items next to me, and that's what I keep digging out of. So these are supposed to be used for decorating. You're supposed to like put them on the wall, you know, and stuff, but they're great for crafting with. So my only fear about putting something like this is that it's gonna get lost because of the neon pink. So what if we did a gold? Could you see the gold? Can we see the gold on that? No, we might need to stick with the actual So these ones are like, you can see where I cut off the wire. These are the ones that come like in your picks and stuff. And, you know, this is essentially kind of like a very soft, thin fabric, or like a ribbon. So you can cut these off. You can dismantle these and use them however you need to use them. So we are going to use this guy because at least this guy will be able to see. Because if not, we're not going to be able to see the difference between our neon color that we have. So see how cool that is? I think that's really cool right there. Okay. So I'm going to adhere those. I do like where that is. So I'm gonna first go ahead and put this down. And this I'm just gonna do with some old school glue. Okay. You don't need to have anything fancy. If you have Mod Podge, you can use Mod Podge. I very well do use Mod Podge, but you don't have to if you don't have it. Some people will buy the Elmer's glue and water it down to make it somewhat like Mod Podge. There's really no need to do that, honestly. But, I mean, to each his own. You do what works for you, okay? Again, if for you it is easier to use the Mod Podge, then by all means use the Mod Podge, my friends. I'm just saying, you know, especially with something like this, you can definitely use. Now, if you are using real pictures, okay, because you can, you know, create this similar style art with an actual image of an actual, like, person, picture, I would say be sure to use a pH neutral, okay? How does your ADH mind want one thing one and the next food-wise? Not quite understanding the question. Is it hard for me to make decisions? Yes. If I want something, my mind gets set on it, and which is sometimes not a good thing, because then if I don't eat that, then I really would rather not eat, which is not a good thing. So that has happened a lot. And so then, you know, then I have to hear my daughter or my husband like, Mom, you haven't eaten all day. Sweetie, you need to eat something. I don't feel like eating anything. So, yeah. Not quite sure if that's what you were talking about or not. But if that's what you were talking about, then that's what I do. While this was copy paper, I really did not need to iron it on. It went on, it was small enough that it went on with no problem, and it didn't warp or anything. So I have no issues with that. That is going to be, again, something that you have to figure out what works for you. Okay? So, look, again, everybody is different. Everybody's going to do things that work best for them, or the things that they like to do. Okay? Yeah, when my mind, when I have like this craving for something, that's it. That's either I eat that or I don't eat nothing. So if that's what you were talking about, yeah, we do kind of screw ourselves over with that one, don't we? You know what? I'm actually going to use this. And where are you? We'll use this one. Okay, so this may seem odd to y'all, but what I'm going to do is I'm using a stencil, okay, and I'm just going to give it some texture on this side. Hello there, Coma's Crafting Corner. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. Okay, and if you notice, I put my glob, because it ended up being a glob of paint, on top of the actual plastic itself. And then I'm just going to give myself a little bit of the neon pink on this side, and we are going to spread it. This is one of those silicone, you know, thingies that you can get at the dollar store. And my biggest thing is I just want to give myself some different textures. Is it going to be like if I was doing a textured paste and it's going to be, you know, no, it's not. It's not going to be symmetrical. But I want just like some added color. And I don't want to do it like daubs, like that would normally tell you to do. So I am just doing it with the stencil to just kind of give it some direction, but without it being too much, if that makes any sense. Just because I want to give it a different interest. And I'm actually running out of some paint, so let's add some over here. And all this is, guys, this is actually Scribbles iridescent tropical yellow. These ones you get at Walmart, and these are just fabric, you know, the 3D fabric paints. Okay, so you don't have to go and get the stickles, which is like the expensive stuff. You can get regular fabric, 3D fabric paint, or even the glitter glues. Okay, so because I know that those name brand things can be expensive sometimes, but you don't always have to get the name brand ones. Okay, there's other things that are comparable and that are a lot more wallet friendly. So just FYI. Okay, let me grab a wipe right quick. Just because I want to wipe stuff down a little bit. Just so that I don't have stuff, you know, because I'm going to lay it down and then I'm going to make a mess. And just lift it up. And there we go. And then just a quick wipe. This is just one of your disinfectant wipes, so it has alcohol in it. Because this is plastic, you can clean it off right quick. That way you don't have to worry about it. You know, kind of like what I would tell my kids, clean as you go if possible. Because when you get done, many times you don't want to clean afterwards. And then that's when things tend to get messed up, junked up, all that stuff. I mean, I'll still probably do a little better job afterwards, but it'll be fine. So see how that gave me like now an element over here. So I have this angel and then I have this element over here. Yes, these ones are, like I said, because yes, you can get the stickles, and literally it says down here, glitter glue, right? But what you're going to pay for this versus what you're going to pay for, let me see, like just a regular old glitter glue is a lot more. So yeah, it doesn't matter. They're the exact same thing. It's just one thing is branded by a certain brand, and so it tends to be more expensive. Alright. Usually the biggest thing that I tend to have issues with is finding maybe a certain color. And then ironically, there's sometimes I find those colors in the scribbles that I can't find in the stickles, and then there's times I find stuff in the stickles I can't find in the scribbles. So it is what it is. But give it a try. You will like it. It is a lot of fun. So again, up after me is Miss Cathy from CC Redesign. We are crafting our decade in celebration of 600 followers for the group Adventures in Crafting. They are an event group. They have a great admin team as well. So definitely check them out. Their pages are all linked up in the description of this video, so that way you can go and find them and follow them as well. So make sure that you you know, go check them out and join them. That way you can, you know, follow all the rest of the crafters from today and anybody you know, events from past and future. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, so here are our wings. I want to make sure that I have them somewhat at the right distance, and then these I am going to give them a little bit of a hot glue piece. And I'm still not sure how I feel about this new heat tool. I don't know, maybe I'm too used to the old one, but I'm not sure yet how I feel about this one. So we're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and keep on trying it, but I'm not sure yet. Not sure how I feel about it. And yes, guys, that's why I love having my nails long, because they are one of the best crafting tools ever. I had people asking me all the time, how can you craft with your nails long? I can't if I don't have them long. That's just it. I can't. It's awkward to me if I don't have them long. So super fun tool to have because it's literally at your fingertips. Dun-dun-dun. There goes the drums. And I just realized that this is so off-centered. Oh, that's gonna irk me. That is going to definitely irk me. So yeah, there are some things that ironically my brain will be OCD about. And things being centered is one of them. So, believe me, my brain fights itself. But I love myself, as quirky and weird as I am. Oops, I just knocked my light. Alright, so, great thing about the hot glue is as soon as it dries, you can peel it off. I do not recommend trying to peel when it's still wet, because you'll pull up any paint. But once it's dry, comes off. No problem. So now we can start again. Alright, so if she is going to be centered, then the wings need to be there. And there. So if you ever you know, find yourself where you're stuck with some of these you know, butterflies that are left from a pick or something, you're like, what am I going to do with it? Look at them as they are wings. Wings for fairies, wings for angels. You know, just super fun to play with. Super fun to play with. Alright, so actually, let me see if I can reheat that glue a little bit. Why not? It's already on there, right? Just be careful, don't burn yourself, okay? Definitely don't want anybody burning themselves, because, well, Tamara said to go and heat up the glue again, yeah, and then you weren't paying attention and you burnt yourself. No, 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 no burned fingers, please. Ironically, I don't have that much of an issue with getting burnt fingers. Again, a lot of it I guess is because I use my nails, so. Alright. Okay. So we're just gonna double check. Yeah, we're still good. Before I go messing up again. Okay, right there. And again, I'm just warming this up to try to get some of that glue. Because if you've ever worked with the hot glue, you also know that if it's hardened, it's made a glob, and so then it becomes hard to position because now it's all, you know, piled up. And we definitely don't want that. Okay. So. Right there. Awesome. Okay. So we have that. She is done. Alright, now for her, I actually want to give her some lift. I don't want her straight on her wings. I actually want her to come up just a tad bit from them, if that makes any sense. Again, I'm trying to find that dimension. So for that, I need to grab my roll of double-sided tape. Is that my double-sided tape? Nope, it's not. But this is my double-sided tape. So, and these are actually, you can get the double-sided tape in squares already pre-cut from the Dollar Tree. So, I mean, if it's gonna make your life easier, why not? These ones are a little longer, but again, I can still use them. So yeah, just think of it that way. Think of them as, you know, you don't have to trim. Now, because of how her head is, I will definitely trim that because I don't want to see that. Right? I don't want to see the foam around her head. But I do want to have, and you're going to need that lift. If not, it's more likely to break it, okay? Aw, thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Melanie. I truly appreciate that. So I love working with paper, and I love doing anything that is mixed media, which fits in perfectly with my love for paper. And even my paper projects will have other elements in them. So I cannot call myself a true paper crafter per se, because I like to incorporate all kinds of stuff into my crafts. That's just who I am. And so, alright, so we're going to take off the little pieces here. And we're going to get her all settled in next to her wings. And see what I mean by having that gap, that lift. She's not fully laying on the wings. I don't know if you guys can see it well or not, but she's not fully laying flat, which when you're doing a project, any kind of project, you want to have different elements in them. You don't want for it all to be one note. You know, I mean, we live in a 3D world, guys. Think of it that way. So we're not meant to, you know, just be, you know, everything in that one in that one note like that. You know, we're meant to have different levels of things. Thought I had some oranges. Guess I didn't take the orange one out. Alright, and so for another fun little element, we're going to use some of these neon colored. So originally, these ones are here. Let me see if I can find, well, that's too big of a brad. So originally, if you have a brad, it's supposed to go through it. I need to find one that's small enough though. Those ones are too big. Okay, so technically you would take a brad with a way smaller head than that. You would go through this and you would make it to look decorative. There we go, lost it. So again, you would take the brad, it would go through the holes like that, and then you could open it up, alright, and you would have a layered you'd have a layered brad essentially. But today we are just going to use them to decorate up our area here around the lady. So we are just going to put little daubs of hot glue. And so we're just going to put some down like this. You could totally come in and put like little beads if you had any. You could totally do that as well. You'd have to do it while the hot glue is hot and seeping through the little hole there. But I think this is a very fun little project. And thank you so much for challenging me to figure out something to do with my decade. And I was like, okay, well, graffiti. I want to do something with the art of graffiti. And I definitely have to incorporate neon colors. I gotta have them neon colors, you know. Because that's what we, you know, that decade was known for. Yes, the big hair. But I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I mean, I guess I could give her big hair. Could just add it that way. Super excited to see what Miss Cathy from CC Redesign will be doing, because she will be up afterwards. So that's going to be super exciting. I think that would be a whole lot of fun to watch. So make sure you guys are sticking around. Make sure you guys are part of Adventures in Crafting. It is a free event group, so make sure that you are following them, and that way you get to see all of the crafters from today and from previous events. They are celebrating their 600 followers, which is a great accomplishment, and I love that they have a wide variety of crafters. So it is super fun, because you can learn so much and be inspired by so many people. They are, you know, we're all different. We all bring different things to the table, and that is the best part of it, honestly. That is the best part. So let me find another one of these ones. We'll put this one up here. We'll do that. Ooh, I just saw pink. I'm gonna grab that one for sure. I saw another pink one, so we're definitely gonna add some pink in here, because there goes some more of them bright colors, y'all. Very bright colors. So again, I'm not usually a bright color type of person, but there's nothing wrong with adding some bright colors to your life every once in a while. And you ain't gonna find me doing it often, but every once in a while, sure, why not? Why not? Makes life interesting when you're able to spice it up and jazz it up, right? We gotta keep life fun. So, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have enjoyed watching and even listening to me jibber jabber, because I know that I do that a lot. I tend to. But I love to come on and have fun with friends, make new friends. We get to talk, you know. It's a good time, and that's what's important, is having fun with friends. So, I know I didn't chit-chat much while Miss Lisa was on, but it was super fun to watch her craft. Like I said, I enjoy watching others craft because I get inspired all the time. All the time. Everybody has their unique way of looking at things. You know, I've said it time and time again. You can give 5 crafters the same items that they're each going to come up with something completely different. Why? Because the way our creative process works for everyone is individualized. It's different, and that's beautiful. You know? That's how it should be. I'm throwing brads around. Make sure I pick those up. Definitely gotta make sure I pick those up. Because if not, I'm gonna have cats playing with brads, and that is definitely not a good thing. That is definitely not a good thing. You definitely don't want that. You don't want kitty cats playing with brads. So that's a big old no-no. I'm gonna incorporate this up here. I think this is a fun button. It was a bright colored button I found, so I'm gonna incorporate this one over here. I think that's gonna look fun amongst all those flowers right there. Okay, now she is supposed to be an angel, so she's supposed to have some kind of a halo, right? So I think we're gonna need us a little bit of wire to make her a halo. Because either we're gonna make her a halo, or we're gonna have to try to figure out how to make her a crown. One or the other. But she's getting something. She's definitely gonna be getting something, that's for sure. And then, just because that's paper doesn't mean that you cannot go over it. So I might actually use some of the glitter glue in the yellow part just to give it some sparkle. I think that would also, you know, elevate this a little bit more. So I just got this very thin wire, and right now I'm just twisting it. I'm not doing anything major to it. I'm just trying to get it twisted, mainly so that it'll stay together. Okay, and then I want to try to figure out how to make her a halo that we can stick behind her. So I'm just making a loop, alright, and I'm going, right now I'm tightening one end around the loop. So this is what I got so far, okay? So it is a loop and like a little stick, okay? Again, this is us trying to give this, you know, 3D effects, okay? Those 3D elements make things pop, make things be different, you know? And then we can come back here and with maybe a little bit of some glue, we might need to actually make this a tad bit smaller. That might be a little bit too big for her head, and that's fine. We can make it smaller. That's the good thing about this wire. It is very pliable. I just gotta get it. There we go. So Yes, thank you to everybody for attending the event. Please make sure that you guys are going to go and see CC Redesigns, who is Miss Cathy. Make sure that you're checking her out along with everybody else in today's event. Make sure that you go and support them, see them, you know, get them all sprinkled out. That definitely helps. It helps when you do that. You know, it helps when you chat. Even if all you do is say hello. You know, or hashtag replay if you're watching a replay. Those little things may not seem like a lot, but they do mean a lot, especially in the algorithm that this platform has. So let me see now how the problem now is that this is too long. So let me pull this down. Like I said, I may add some more. I may add some of the bright yellow glitter glue to the printed word angel in graffiti that I was able to find just by doing a Google search, guys. That's all I did. I didn't, do anything. I just said word angel in graffiti. That's all I did. And you'd be surprised the amount of images that we can find on Google. Things are so different. We used to have to go and find everything, in a library, hope to learn stuff, on the news, from the newspaper. You don't have to do those kinds of things anymore because nowadays we can find pretty much anything on the internet. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and I am lifting her up just a little bit so that I can adhere the wire like that. Now I'm going to hold it down just for a little bit. But there we go. So see? So now she also has herself a halo because she is an angel, right? So I think that just worked out awesome right there. See? And and you can work it any ways you want. See how it gives it a 3D effect by having that standing out like that? So give things a try. Think outside the box. Like I said, who would have thought of grabbing, a butterfly, pretty much dismantling it to then put it back together and make a girl, right? Who would have thought? Ugh, now you're gonna tell me you're stuck. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. It is always encouraging when others find my creations beautiful and enjoy them, because I enjoy making them. You never know, right? Because everybody's perception is different, and there's nothing wrong, because as the saying says, art is in the eye of the beholder. And just because I think something looks nice does not mean that you have to think the same thing. And guess what? It is totally okay, because you may have your points of view and how you like your art to look, but guess what? That's the beauty of us as creators, as creative people, because what I may not have thought of and you thought of, it might inspire me to do something. Even if it's not exactly the same or along the same lines, but you inspired me to think some way, and then to go and create my own thing. So that's what it's all about. It's all about inspiring others to go and have fun. Crafting is therapeutic, you know. Don't stress about it. Let the art flow. Let it come out the way you feel it needs to look. You know, there will always be people who will not agree with how your art may look, and that is totally okay. You know, that is totally okay. We all have the right to, you know, enjoy what we enjoy. But it is really nice when someone other than myself thinks that what I've made is nice. Alright, so all I'm doing is adding this bright yellow glitter glue to the part that was, I guess, supposed to be like a cloud. And this is just adding some glitz over here to my project. So we have a whole lot of fun elements going on in this project, and I absolutely love it. So look at that. Look at what a little bit of glitter glue did. Look at how it elevated that word. See? He gave it that shimmer. I mean, super cute, is it not? Right? I think it's lovely. I absolutely love it. You know, you can keep on playing. You can keep on doing all kinds of stuff to your projects. You don't have to, you know, stop just because, oh, that's it. No. Who says that's it? Do what you think is nice. Now, one of the things, there we go. So I'm just going to come in here and make some dots just because I feel like it. And again, this is just adding another level of dimension. And this is puffy paint, so it is going to be puffy when it dries, so it will give you that 3D dimension that you need. Now, depending on how much dimension you want, you might have to do it a time or two, but you know, look at that. Look at those dots. Look at how that changed those. Just doing that. See what I mean? Just something so super simple. Alrighty. I am so grateful for you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I am super grateful to the admins from the Adventures in Crafting group who invited me to come and be in today's event to celebrate their 600. You guys, 600 followers. That is amazing. So, this is my 80s inspired, lots of neon brights and glitter and all the things. And of course our graffiti. Thank you so much. Please go and watch Miss Cathy over at CC Redesigns. And until the next time, my friends, remember to be kind. Kindness is free, and it is free to give, and we need so much more of it in this world. I do love y'all very, very much. Till the next time, my friends. Ciao, ciao.